What's up, banana bunch? Bunch? Bunch?
Welcome to the Jungle Jims podcast. What's up, Banana Bunch? You know what time it is. It's time for another episode of the Jungle Jims podcast. I'm your host, Mark. Look, this is a special edition this week. I'm putting this out early because we've got an event coming up this Thursday, the 23rd of October, here in the Fairfield store. It is a collab between Gene Simmons Moneybags sodas and Aganorsa Leaf, a cigar company. So I did what you would do in this situation, which is find the tweets that they were posting about this and go, oh my gosh, how come we haven't connected yet? Let's do a quick podcast about it. So I met up with the team involved, both teams involved, to talk about the event. I think it's going to be really fun. I think you should come out. This is kind of a cool thing. I don't know a lot about cigars myself, but I've always been wanting to learn. And a lot of times I think I might be one of those people who is sometimes like, oh, well, it's a lot of bourbon pairing and stuff like that. And I don't drink a ton of alcohol. So not that that would dissuade me, but it dissuades me from going. So when I heard that they were pairing it with sodas, I was like, well, now I get to learn a little bit about both of those things. So I came out here. We are sold out of the root beer. I was really excited about that. And I've got a couple duplicates in the fridge, but the one I was most excited about, I think, of the lineup we've got today. Actually, I think the cola is the one I'm the most excited about, but I want it to get even colder. But I was like, if you're going to drink a fresh, cool beverage, which of the three would be the closest to room temperature acceptable? I think the cream soda's got good bubbles in there. I love the branding, too. Clear glass bottle. It definitely has a premium look, which you can tell. And I loved this story, and that you'll hear it more on the show, is that Gene Simmons trademarked the money bag, like the famous, it's a sack with money in it. Crazy to think how many people didn't think about that, but Gene did. It's so nuts. So anyway, got a strong vanilla flavor on the nose here. I'm pretty excited about this. You can learn more about this at moneybagsodas.com or, of course, at genesimmons.com and kissonline.com. Oh, yeah. Cool. So if that's that delicious, just a little bit refrigerated, imagine how it's going to taste in a couple of hours. I'm pretty excited about this. Anyway, let me turn you over to the team. I've got a little bit of everybody here from both the Moneybags team as well as the Aganorsa Leaf people. You're going to meet everyone in here. I always love having them introduce themselves. And you know what? This is great too. Well, we dove into a bunch of stuff. We dive into my love of music at the end. I get it. There's a great Jungle and Gene Simmons story that's at the end of the episode, so I highly recommend. Even if you don't listen to the whole thing, scrub ahead to that. You'll love that. This makes my second Gene Simmons story on the podcast. The first one came from Bill Manspeaker of Green Jello, who told us about how great Gene Simmons muffins were. It's one of my favorite episodes, so I'll put a link to that episode in there so you can watch it too. It's great stuff. So anyway, in the meantime, no more yapping from me. Let's dive right into the interview, and I want to see all of you here at Jungle Jim's Fairfield on Thursday at 4 p.m. for the soda and cigar tasting. It's going to be fun. All right, boys.
So I'm Terrence Riley. I handle national sales and marketing for Aganorsa Leaf, which is the largest leaf grower in Nicaragua. We sell tobacco to other cigar brands, people like Fuente and JC Newman and the guys that make Romeo and Julieta and Monte Cristo. And then we also have our own brands. And in the United States, I handle the sales and marketing for those brands. We're sold internationally as well. And for Jungle Jims, they're a great retail partner of ours. I always say it's kind of like a Disney World of supermarkets. It's an incredible place. They have a great selection of Aganorsa Leaf. And so when this event kind of came about, we thought it was the perfect venue to collab with Moneybag Soda to have this type of pairing, because it's something in the wheelhouse of what you do. You guys have the capacity to do it well. You have the capacity to have a fair amount of people there. And you carry both the products. So it just made sense to work with you guys, and our rep also used to be an employee there, so that helps as well.
Oh, cool, awesome. Keeping it easy and in the family, I'm up for that. Right. While we're talking all the event details, can you give me the date again? Is it the 23rd?
Yeah, Thursday the 23rd.
Okay, cool. And what time are we starting that?
I believe it's 4 to 8. Is that
sounds good to me? If not, I'll put a big thing over screen here that says we were wrong about it. I guess on a basic level, Terrence, if you just give me kind of a rundown of what people can expect if they come out to this. We're pairing Moneybag sodas with the Aganorsa Leaf cigars? I mean, is that simply put, or?
So that's going to be part of it for sure. Obviously, spirit pairings are kind of common in the cigar industry. So we're doing something I think different here and unique. The sodas are excellent. They pair their craft sodas. I'll let I won't get into that. I'll let others here discuss the quality there. But we love them, and we feel that they work together well. Especially a lot of people, trying to lay off the sauce a little bit and. Sure. Still enjoy an event like this. So a big part of it, obviously, we focused on the soda and the cigar pairing. Also, we'll be doing what we call our Fuma experience. So you'll get to try actual individual components of our tobacco. There's two leaves that are used in every cigar we make. It's kind of like tasting the sugar and the butter in a cake. Every cake, there's vanilla cake, chocolate cake, carrot cake, but there's always sugar and butter in the cake. So it's kind of like Aganorsa always has these two ingredients. So everyone's going to get a chance to try those ingredients and see how they contribute to the signature flavor of the cigar. So that'll be great swag available from both companies. That's going to be there that evening. So it's I don't want to exaggerate, but it's probably going to be the greatest day of our whole lives. And we're going to be
yes, right.
You know what? If I have kids one day, I'm going to go ahead and play this clip to them just so they know where they stand from the That's really cool, actually. And doing a little research about this, I know you guys control the whole vertical in that space. Are there any kind of fun, unexpected benefits to controlling every part of the process there, from literally from the field to getting it to the humidor, and then maybe even more excitedly right into my hands?
Yeah, so certainly makes it's exciting price wise. We cut out a lot of people in there, and so that gives us the ability to present the product at a much better price. But there's lots of great cigars in any humidor, but it's very hard to compete with us in that regard. You usually have to pay more if you want something as high quality as what we produce. And you control your future. It's a very difficult business. Every year you have different seasons, different levels of sun exposure, rain, all these different factors. And the more that you're able to kind of control your destiny by growing your own tobacco, by making your own cigars, that's a benefit, because otherwise you're even more subject to the whims of fate. So it's definitely a benefit, and it benefits the consumer as well.
Love that. That's a perfect answer. Well, we got so far in and we've got so much information already. We didn't even get to introduce everyone else on here. So Leaf, the Janik brothers, who wants to jump in for next?
John, come on, you're the rock star here.
I'm Leif Lunatic. The idea of this was my idea. I've been drinking the Moneybag soda since it came out, which I think is 2018, 18 or 19. I'm a huge fan of Kiss and Gene Simmons. I've known Gene personally for 19 years. So I was drinking the soda since it came out. I've been smoking the Aganorsa cigars for a couple of years. And just about a year ago, I actually sat down and put a root beer down because I was very thirsty with one of the Lunatic cigars. And I was just blown away at what happened, right? How the cigar enhanced the flavor of the soda and vice versa. It had never occurred to me to bring the two together and actually realize what the experience was like. So once I did that, it's like a light bulb going off at the top of my head. I'm like, wow, we got to tell the world about this. Fantastic cigars and fantastic craft soda in different flavors. So my next step was obviously to try different flavors with the different cigars. And I realized there was a magnitude of possibilities that were really all positive in every regard. It was just a matter of what are you in the mood for at that time. So once I thought about that, I got a hold of the Janik brothers here and talked about the idea. And I think it was February that I actually presented it to them. And Gene blessed the idea. I think it was in March or April. And then it just took some time to get it out there, and it kind of came to be. But it was really a very unique thing because, people traditionally think of pairing alcohol with cigars. And I realized, wow, I've been doing the soda for a while and it worked so well. I just thought we should try this. And it was so great for me. And when I had friends over, they tried it, of course, because I would treat everybody I knew to the cigars and the soda to see if they had the same reaction. And everybody literally did. People that were novices at smoking cigars and people that have been smoking them for a long time. So I knew I had something. So I talked to Terrence about it. I talked to John and Paul Janik about it, and everybody agreed we should give this a shot. So the first event is finally happening, and that's at Jungle Jim's on the 23rd, and I believe it is 4 to 8 p.m. And that'll be an exciting time. Cigar Aficionado did a nice article breaking the story in essence, and the feedback from the industry was really positive. So now it's really time to, for people to try it, and we're hoping to do quite a few events like this. We got to get the first one under our belt and kind of see, work out the logistics and figure out, what's the best way to do it. But you have to start somewhere.
Absolutely.
So that's kind of the backstory. So from that, I'll leave it to John and Paul, the Janik brothers, who actually make the soda, and let them tell you all about that wonderful component.
Well, I'm John. This is my older brother, Paul. How we doing?
Welcome, gentlemen. How did this all start? Take me back to the beginning.
As far as the soda or the cigar pairing?
Well, let's start with the soda itself, and then we'll move into the cigar pairing.
Okay. Well, my brother and I were third generation soda manufacturers. Family business started by our grandfather in 1935. Him and his two brothers started the company. So we've been doing this a long time. It's just a passion. It's something that we really enjoy. Something we've been doing all our lives, So we've been around the beverage industry and the soda, and been doing it for a long time. So we have the sickness. It's called, we're members of the KISS Army. Okay. And it was back in 2017. We had needed some specific KISS posters signed. And we had read that Gene was doing an appearance at Wizard World in Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, all right, let's take a ride out to Cleveland. And, we'd met him before, but this would have been a nice event where we could bring stuff in instead of carrying around a concert or something like that. So, we went down there to meet him and get autographs. And while that was happening, right around the same time, there was a Kiss Cola that came out. So, we had like VIP things. We were going to be the first ones in line. So I'm like, I'm going to talk to Gene about it, And so, we had gotten in line and we were just, rapping with him. And I asked him, I said, hey, Gene, I said, how tied in are you guys with this Kiss Cola? I said, we're really disappointed because we know the manufacturers and they're big customers of ours. And we would have really liked to do that. And we were disappointed because, just being what big Kiss fans we are. And right away, he's just like, do you have a card? I said, of course. So long story short, he just said, I have some ideas. He said, I'll call you in a few days. And, a few days later, it was on a Sunday. I got a no caller ID on my phone. And I'm like, everyone is. No one answers those phone calls. So I'm like, I'll give it a shot. So first thing, it's Gene Simmons. He always introduced himself the same way. And I was shocked and scared and, whatever else. So, we just started talking and he goes, back in 1990, I trademarked the money bag, like the logo. So he actually owns that image that has a bag with the dollar signs on it, something that's been in our history forever.
Right.
And, so he, and at first we're like, didn't really think about it, but we wanted to do something more Kiss. But as we moved along, we figured it was greater because we didn't have a limited audience. And, so we started, just going back and forth with them. And Gene has no assistants or no people that you have to deal with. You're directly to him. So, we just kind of said, hey, man, what you looking for? What, so he gave us some ideas of, how to brand it and, what type of stuff. And we instantly went on and started, designing the logos and doing all that stuff. And we had it wrapped up within a month. contract signed, and he was really excited about it. So, you know, we've been going since then. We had a few setbacks, you know, COVID and all that kind of hurt everybody, but you know, glass we couldn't get. It was just a little crazy time, but you know, it's been a pleasure working with Gene. He's always involved. Anything we need from the guy, he's there for us, and he promotes the product, and he really loves it. Likes us, likes our product, likes, you know, our business and stuff like that. So that's kind of how it all started.
That's cool. Did you have like is there like a singular, maybe tough criticism that you ran into early on that like helped shape this, what it became?
Criticism?
Yeah. Maybe that's too strong a word, but you know, maybe like some obstacle perhaps might be another good way of thinking about it.
Not really. You know, it all came together pretty good. You know, the only obstacle, like, you know, because Gene is a great guy, but you know how it is, any celebrities or stuff like that, you know, there's people that love you, people that don't like you because you're successful and you know, you've done great things in your life and stuff like that. And a lot of people really don't know him like we know him. He told me I'm his friend. So, and I know he doesn't have many friends, but like there was, you know, we had gotten a lot of emails off the beginning, and there was people that just said, you know, F you, Gene. I have to tell you, I really wanted to hate this product, but I love it.
No, that's cool.
I wanted to hate it, but I don't. I love it. It's probably the best. And I remember, you know, like it was pretty funny, you know, like, but we got a lot of that, and you know, so there was really no setbacks. We've been doing this a long time. Everything moves smoothly and stuff like that. And, you know, Gene is just easy to work with as long as you have a good plan and your stuff together. He's right. You know, it was very easy with him.
And you know, I think at the end of the day, what we've always done is we've made soda that is just how it's always been made since 1935. We just went with the best packaging with glass. Pure cane sugar for sweetener, all natural flavoring, and you know, we just put that mentality into this project with Gene, and you know, he's an innovator, and you know, it was just a different idea of bringing Gene into the soda world, and it's very interesting, and it's just like what we're doing now, pairing with the cigars. We like to do different, interesting things, and you know, think outside the box, and I think the sodas go so well with these cigars, and just like what you mentioned, that there's some people moving away from alcohol that want a non-alcoholic option, and the two flavors coming together are just really, really great.
Yeah, I'm stoked about this. This is like precisely my speed. I'm like, okay, what's it going to take for me to find a good pairing on this one? How involved were you all in on working on the pairing, or is this just, you know, it being innovators? You're like, hey, listen, we're on board for this. Let's try this.
Well, you know, like just from day one, I mean, I'm always cool with just things out of the box. And, you know, the first time we talked to John, you know, he has a Gene Simmons hairdo, which I was very impressed with. And I said, this is going to work regardless of what he says or what happens after that. I love it. Both these guys are great guys.
You know, I think at the end of the day, you don't have to be like a connoisseur of really anything to know what tastes good. And, you know, you don't have to, you know, be intimidated by it. I enjoy cigars. They're a treat for me. I'll have one once a week or maybe a couple a week. And it's just the same with soda. And they're both treats. And I just think you don't really need to be a connoisseur, and you know, you don't really have to have anyone tell you what goes good together. You kind of instantly know it. Right.
Yeah, it's like an instant experiential thing too. We were having a funny conversation recently on the idea of critique and criticism in general, Matt, like what makes their thoughts so special. Like you said, it's like, I'll know immediately whether or not I enjoy it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And again, how this came about was strictly by accident, right? I've been drinking sodas and enjoying the cigars for a while, and it just never occurred to me to put them together and see what that was like. And once I did it, I mean, it worked. It just expanded the cigar experience tremendously, as well as the craft soda experience. And the nice thing with Moneybags having 6 different flavors is you can take the same cigar and try it with the different flavors and really experience how they enhance each other in different ways from the different flavors. So again, completely by accident. I wasn't looking for something to do for Aganorsa or for Moneybags. I just happened to put the two together, and when I realized it was magic, I'm like, okay, I've got to talk to these people and see if we can actually put something together so that everybody's audience has a chance to experience that, and that's how it started. So I'm really looking forward to the event on Thursday, because I really would like to see a large group of people and get their feedback on this, right? See their reactions and see who what soda gets paired most with what cigars. And then I think that'll be the start of probably something that we'll put together where we come up with some sort of a chart that says, here are the attributes of the 6 different Moneybag flavors. Here are the attributes of select cigars from Aganorsa Leaf. And then from that, we can say, here's the most popular pairing so far, but feel free to pair any combination that you want, right? Because again, people, they react to different things differently. So we really want people to kind of find their own way. But for the people that have never done it or thought about it, we obviously want to start that process, give them some ideas, say, here's the flavors of this, here's the attributes of this, and here's why we think they work together. And after doing some events, we'll be able to say X% of the people that have tried this is how they start this out, right? This is what they pair. So we really want to grow this, but again, the idea was very not planned. It was just all of a sudden I realized, wow, this really works. I got to tell the world about it.
I love it.
Yeah, thank you.
So anyway, that's great.
Yeah, so that's where it all started. I think I may have cut Paul and John up. I think they were going to talk about something else. So I'm sorry about that, guys.
No, not at all.
Wanted to get that in there. And Terrence is over there very quiet. We're not giving him any space,
All
but
right.
he's a very knowledgeable guy.
Terrence, do you remember them old commercials for Reese's peanut butter cups, how they started it by accident? You remember the people would be walking, some would have a jar of peanut butter and some would have a bar and they flipped and then it went inside the jar. That's kind of how we did the same thing.
That's a great analogy. I remember those
By
commercials.
accident.
Not to date myself, but
Came up with something great.
Yeah, no. Again, I think, like you said, it's to be fun. Life has got enough stress and enough problems.
Yeah.
Palate. Try the different combinations. They've got so many great things: cola, diet cola, the root beer is incredible, cream soda, and then you have different cigar options. And have fun with it. Have a good night, and see what works best for your palate. And that's what we're trying to do: create new experiences in a fun, engaging way. It's not rocket science. It's getting out there and providing a good experience for people who, everyone's got plenty of stress going on in their lives, lots going on in the world. Let's give them a break from all that and have some fun and learn something while you're at it.
Oh,
and you're right. It's not rocket. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
You really couldn't have a better place to do it than Jungle Jim's. I mean, I was down at the store and I was just blown away. So you couldn't have a more fun environment to try fun things and have a good time.
Yeah.
After you drink a lot of soda, you could hit the outhouses.
Exactly. One of the best parts. You know what? You can test out. We put in a new extra bathroom in International right now. So it's perfect location, prime next to the soda aisle. I'm excited about this because our customers are pretty excited and they're open-minded in general with these kinds of events. So I think it's a great place to kick that off. The question I had for you all was, which soda do you think is going to be the most popular in the pairing?
Root beer.
Yeah,
I would say root beer. Or the cream soda too is real vanilla. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And vanilla always accents a lot of different types of flavors and stuff like that. I think that those two will probably be the most popular, but that's not to say, man. You throw the orange in there, or the ginger from the ginger ale. I guess it depends on what your palate, your taste buds, and what different attributes of different cigars go with, the different types of ingredients that are in there. I mean, it's real ginger, it's real vanilla.
Yeah.
The root beer root beer, we make a lot of different flavors and a lot of different products. The root beer is the most expensive product we make, and it's got rave reviews. from all the root beer blog sites, all the way down to them measuring the hang time of the foam that sits there on top. You know what I mean? Like, I'm curious. Maybe you could bring some ice cream back there and throw a nice float together with a cigar.
It's like me already.
It's almost like an eye-opening experience, because people drink soda and they drink the regular ones you think of when you think of soda.
Yeah.
And that's like really like a Ford Pinto compared to a Ferrari. I mean, these things.
Bugatti.
The
next level.
It's just incredible to taste, like when you have real ingredients and you have something that's a genuine product, how different it is. So it was exciting. We actually had a group, like when we started talking about this concept, we had some people over here at our office, a group of consumer cigar smokers. It's probably 15 of them or so. And I said, since you're here, we just received some soda to try out, and so we tested it out with them. And again, at first, some of them were kind of like, oh, okay, they did it because it was something different or whatever it is, because I think their mindset was kind of like, oh, the soda that you get in the grocery store every day. But when they tried Moneybags, they were like, oh my God, this is incredible. And then they were kind of, the reason I think the root beer is going to win, they were kind of fighting over the root beer, but and the orange was super popular. The cream, so it was cool to see kind of them go from saying, I'll try that out, to being like, oh wow, this is really an incredible experience.
You think about it too, like a lot of, like John was saying, or I forgot if it was Terrence, but a lot of people would pair alcohol with cigars, and it's just like anything else. Alcohol, I don't care how vintage it is, how long it's been brewed for, none of them are pleasant tasting. They're not. they're an acquired taste, correct?
Right.
Am I wrong? Yeah, they're an acquired taste. So, you take the sodas that have these bold flavors and different things in them, but they're pleasant tasting. So it's just, it is something different. And, like there is a lot of people looking for non-alcoholic alternatives. Look at all these mocktails coming out and these mocktail parties people have at, different bars and nightclubs and stuff like that people are trying to get away from that. So I just think all in all, it's just like, it was just something good and different. And it's going to be a nice, pleasant surprise, like I said, because it's pleasant tasting.
And virtually every cigar lounge has soda, right? For the people that come in during the daytime, at lunch or whatever, working and don't want to drink alcohol,
right?
Especially during the day. So it just kind of makes sense that if they're going to have the option of some sort of a soda, give them the option of something that really enhances their cigars. And I really think people, even if they stumble upon it at a lounge by accident, once they've done it, I think they're going to be really surprised, even if they're not consciously aware at that moment that one is enhancing the other in terms of the why. It'll be a new experience for them. And I can just see people saying, wow, that was really good. Then they come back whenever they come back and they order the same soda, right? They get the root beer or whatever it is that floats their boat, and it just kind of works for them. But again, it's an experience. It's something we call it rock your cigar. So it's not rocket science, but it is rock your cigar, obviously, because of the gene attachment. And I also believe that, one of the things that'll get people to think about it that may be on the fence otherwise is that it is a Gene Simmons product. It's a name that they know. They might not know Moneybag, but they're sure going to find out about it, right? And if it's just because Gene's name is attached to it that gets them to try it, then mission accomplished. And again, I think based on the sampling that Terrence did at his office and the feedback from that, and the feedback that I've had by bringing people to the house, and I've actually brought the soda to my cigar lounge and had several mini events where it's the regulars that come in and I supply the soda for them because I want to get their feedback, right? But to date, there's been no negative feedback whatsoever. And I really expect that to be the case most of the time. There's going to be some people that, as was pointed out earlier, if they're looking for a reason to hate somebody, they're going to find a reason. But overall, I really believe, based on what we've done so far, that people who give it a shot with an open mind are going to really realize how, wow, this really does complement this, and vice versa. And then I think the last step of that is the aficionados are probably going to want to dive into that and say, well, what is in this soda that makes it enhance the cigar, and vice versa, and how does that work? And I'm looking forward to people doing that as well.
Yeah.
So all in all, I think a real positive experience, a new experience. And I'm very grateful that both Aganorsa and Moneybags were both open to giving this idea a shot. I mean, again, they both think outside the box. Both are looking for ways to expand their business, and cross-pollinating just seemed like a great idea, at least to me. So when I presented it and everybody agreed, including Gene, obviously, I felt like this is something that has a really good shot at working. And I think we're all looking forward to seeing how this plays out.
We are.
Yeah, it sounds amazing. I think this is, look, I'm always looking for unique, fun things for the customers to do. So this is so up our alley. I'm very glad that we were one of the places that you all picked to do this. So I'm very looking forward to seeing everybody this Thursday. I think it's going to be a good time.
Awesome.
Mark,
As do we.
love Jungle Jims, man.
Listen, this is just me wheeling my way into getting a podcast soda made at some point. So
Well, what's really cool too is not only you're going to get to sample the cigars and the soda, but there's going to be some money bag swag that we're giving away. T-shirts. We got some Gene Simmons autographed items, koozies, a bunch of cool stuff that they're going to give away, and you get to enjoy both products at the same time.
sounds awesome.
Our official bag of unused crowns.
Awesome. Finally.
You know how Kiss did the bags of air guitar strings that were empty? Okay, it had just a tag header on it, an empty bag.
That's right.
We did the same thing, but there's so many people that collect crowns.
Yeah.
Right.
And we get bombarded with people wanting us to send them to them.
Sure.
So we did like little bags of crowns. So there'll be a couple of them
You got a chance to win those.
that are official.
That's awesome.
And so just cool, different stuff.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I'm hyped. I'll be there, and everybody else should be there too. And I thank you all so much for joining me on here today so we could get a little extra promo on this. It's going to be a great time.
Yeah.
Yep,
definitely.
absolutely.
Greatest time of our lives.
I'm sorry, Terrence. I cut you off. Say that one more time.
Greatest time of our whole lives.
That's right. If this conversation was the greatest day up until then, this Thursday will be. It's in writing. Awesome. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much again. Looking forward to seeing you this week.
Thank you for having us.
Hey,
Thank you
Mark,
very much.
You're
on a
welcome.
last note,
Yeah.
do you know that Gene Simmons did all his demos with Alex and Eddie Van Halen?
Oh, baby. Well, unfortunately, much to the chagrin of anyone who's ever loved me, yes, I do know some of that.
Okay.
But I would love it. Listen.
Did you ever hear the version of Christine 16 with Alex and Eddie playing?
No, I don't think I have heard that. I'd love
Okay,
to.
well, it's online now.
Okay,
I
I'll
can send
check
you
it
a copy of it. But when you listen to it, it's them back up. Eddie was the one that actually wrote the solo on that, and they
Oh,
had
they're good.
yes. So when you listen to it, and you close your eyes, you're like, this is a Van Halen song.
Right. Oh, that's
So,
cool.
check
I
it.
love-
We'll send you a thing on your email, but
Yeah.
phenomenal. He did a whole demo with both of those guys before their Van Halen 1 came out.
I see. I love all those stories. I've been trying every time I get an opportunity like this. I'm always just like, okay, Mark, you're at work. Shut up about the things you love.
No. I'll tell you what. And Gene had wanted to manage them.
Yeah.
Brought them to the record company, and the record company said, Casablanca at the time said no.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
You know, what a cash cow. They probably would still be around if Van Halen was on there. And
Yeah,
Kiss.
can you even imagine? Yeah, if Warner Brothers hadn't swooped in, they're like, no, we see the big picture here. That's
Gene's
so cool.
seen it.
Yeah,
That's
for
what
sure.
he used to hide how he played. He'd turn his back to the crowd.
That's always so nuts. I mean, I guess it makes sense at a time, especially now where it's funny. I can't even imagine what it'd be like to learn the guitar as a kid now, where you're like, oh, cool. Like all I can do is get on YouTube and every greatest musician on the planet is like,
right.
here's how you do it, you know?
Right.
And meanwhile, I'm sitting there trying to understand sweep picking in a book at 15. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll just be a singer, you know?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, me and my son were talking about this morning. Eddie Van Halen had no influence from anybody except for his father.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And you think of it's just like a child, you know, learning something on their own. Their mind's open to whatever. And because nobody sounded like he had no pedals, he had no anything that made noises. He made them on his own. He learned how to do it.
So cool.
And his style was unique and was all him. It's not like he sounds like, some old blues player or anything else.
Right.
He sounded like Eddie Van Halen. And he's one of the few that, was able to go out and innovate like that. And there's no other ones. Everyone else is influenced by people that sound like others. You could go back to the old blues and, back in the day, and you hear Led Zeppelin and you hear all that stuff. There's no Eddie Van Halen back in history. Nobody.
Just crank the Variac, baby.
If
Let's
I
go
had
watch
money,
the news.
his guitar's on Sotheby's right now.
Yeah.
I'm curious I'm thinking 4 million.
Oh, for sure, easily. I mean, I
two right now, but I don't think it's not close to the end. I'm thinking at least 4 million. I mean, come on.
Yeah, can you imagine you own a piece of history like that? No.
Do you know Mick Mars owned that and did the whole Dr. Feelgood album with that guitar?
No kidding. No, I didn't know that. That's cool.
I'm curious of what Mick Mars paid for it and what he sold it for, because it was probably nothing.
Yeah, we need that interview. Look, hopefully Mick Mars
I didn't know that till
he's
recently.
bringing into the store. I'll get that question out of him.
Who's that?
Wait, you know what? While we're here, we did start talking about this beforehand, and it is funny that I now think I'm going to get 2 good Gene Simmons stories out of the podcast. The other came from Bill Manspeaker of Green Jello about a year or 2 ago. It's one of my favorite Gene stories. He talked about these blueberry muffins he made. He goes, Gene Simmons makes an incredible muffin. And so leading up to this, you were talking about you guys introducing Jungle to Gene.
That was what a great experience. Now his wife was with him, and we went to, obviously it was in Ohio when Kiss came out there. So there was a casino next door. So we all met at the casino, and I walked in, and my distributor's like, you'll know who Jungle Jim is when you meet him. You guys, he's a different kind of guy. And we went in there, and he had his full outfit on, and I was just like, oh, okay, I like this. And before I even talked to him, I'm like, I really like this guy already. And he had asked me if he could bring his sword backstage when we did the meet and greet thing, and I'm like, no, I don't think security would be okay with that, and or Gene. But I just laughed at this. He was just great. And we went to the store, and he's got his Segway. It was just the whole thing, how he put that together, including himself as being, and I don't know if he's supposed to be like a jester or a king or whatever he is.
Yeah,
he could have joined Kiss. He could have been one of the characters.
Yeah, that guy.
He was a cool dude, though. He was cool.
The photo is hanging in the office wall, so I've seen it. It's like one of those legendary stories. It happened before I started with the company. The photo of him with Gene.
Oh, nice.
So I'm just like, I've always kind of wondered the details of the story. And it was always one of those, I'm sure for my coworkers, they've told it a billion times. So they're like, okay, whatever. But I always love hearing these stories. So I'm like, okay, what happened? And yeah, Jungle's in costume too. And I'm just like, oh shit, I bet that went amazing.
That was great. And the people that stopped to talk to him, because everybody knew him too. You know what I mean?
That's so funny.
Oh, it was great.
Oh, what a cool time.
It was good. It was a great time. We had a lot of fun.
Cool. Oh man. Well, look, I could sit here and rant about classic rock, and we could dive on to this. Maybe look, I was loosely serious about the soda thing in the future. We'll have to link up about that at some point.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, no, you guys piqued my curiosity. I'm so stoked for the event. So let's do it one more time. This Thursday, Fairfield Jungle Gyms, 4 to 8 p.m. That's Thursday, the 23rd of October. We're all going to be there. Let's pair some cigars and some soda together. I'm in.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Of course. We'll see you all this week, everybody.
As always, thanks for tuning in. I've got the big 200th episode coming up this week as well. I'm going to release it a little late because I'm doing something special for it. One of my friends gave me a great idea. She's a former guest on the show. I loved it. I think it's going to be fun. It's just going to take me a little longer to produce it. So stay tuned. It'll be out this week. And in the meantime, thank you so much for supporting the show. Thanks for coming out to this. I can't wait to meet all of you on Thursday night. We'll try some cigars maybe if you're into that. And if you're not, we'll definitely try some sodas. I'm very into that. It's going to be great. All right. In the meantime, I'll see you out there in the aisles.
The Jungle Jims podcast is recorded in the WJJI studio inside Jungle Jims International Market in Fairfield, Ohio. The Jungle Jims podcast is produced and hosted by Mark Borison.